Hi there, welcome to this training video. This training video is brought to you by Website Design Business and Identity Creative. This video was done as of July 2012, and today we're just going to talk about using the editor on a Joomla platform on how you can edit content and change and delete. So as of today, we're using the latest version of Joomla, which is 2.5.6. And we're going to talk about using the editor JCE. Its version is 2.2.1.2. The reason we use JCEs is that it's a lot better functionality than the tiny MC editor that Joomla normally comes with. JCE normally has a lot more functions and features like tables and pop-ups and etc., which I'll go into a bit more detail later on. I'm doing this video presentation on a MacBook Pro using OS X 10.7. So let's get started. Okay, so once we've logged into the Joomla admin panel, we'll essentially come to this Joomla dashboard, which has the quick icons on the left, which I'll just quickly go through. Article Manager, this is obviously where all your pages and content's being housed for your website. The Category Manager, which I'll go into detail a bit later on, and the Media Manager, where obviously all your pictures will be housed for your website content, and the Menu Manager, which obviously will point your menus to your articles to constructing your website. But first of all, we're just going to start with the Article Manager and see how we can edit and change content from there. Okay, so now I've clicked on the Article Manager, and this will then provide a list of all the series of articles that appear in my article or content of the website. Obviously, if I had a lot more, my website was a bit bigger, I'd have quite a lot more articles appearing down the page, but because this is quite new Joomla site, just for training purposes, we're just going to have the one. So obviously we can sort by title. Status basically means that we can switch these articles on and off at any stage. So at least they store in the article manager, but we don't actually have to physically delete them. We can just turn them on and off as necessary. With the categories, I briefly touched on that before, but that essentially means if we have lots of series of articles, we can create those into certain categories. So if you have products and services or products that you're selling, you could divide all those into different categories that are then easily searchable. So your categories would then appear under this drop-down menu and it allows you to quickly find stuff under the category that you're after. However, we're just going to talk about the editor today, so let's get started on that. Okay, so now I've logged into I've accessed the article that I want to change and add to. Fairly simple, obviously just your title at the top. The alias you don't have to worry about too much because you can normally just leave that blank and the Joomla will just create its own alias based on the page title, so that's all fine. The category, as we just discussed, we can assign a category for those particular articles, whether it's under a product or service or a series of products you're willing to sell. Here you can tell if your page is going to be published or not published. Obviously I do want this published, so I'm going to leave it as it is. However, if I want to create some content but I don't want it to appear just yet, I can just set it to unpublished and it won't appear on the front end of the website. Access level is essentially, again, giving you control over the page itself. So all of this is defaulted to set to public. So if I set this live, it will appear to the public on the front end. Or I could set it to being registered, which means that a user has to log into the site for this content to be accessible. So I just want this public for now, so I'll leave that as it is. Featured is if you're having a blog, more of a blog layout for your content of your website. If a particular article is set to featured, that article would then appear at the top of all your series of articles on the blog page. But let's get stuck into the editor. With the editor, it's fairly straightforward. We can just start adding some text here, just like normally would on a word processing platform, or like Microsoft Word, that type of thing. You've got similar sort of features, as you can see at the top there, so we can highlight some text, we can make it bold, we can italicize it, underline, strike through, left, center align, right align, or make it justified. If we want to make it a quote, also you can change the color of the particular font you're trying to do. You might want to change the font size. Fairly straightforward. I'll just set that back to what it was. But what we truly normally to do is not worry so much about the colors and styling, because with the design template, it's usually styled in a certain way anyway, so that will retain its style. So that way, all you really need to do is just start typing and saving it, and then that will just appear on the website in its correct style. So just a quick tip: if you're already got something typed up, or going to import some text from another website or some other content, we'll show you how you can still retain that styling for your website and the design template. So I'm just going to jump over to this Lorem Ipsum website, which just gives me some dummy copy here. So I can copy that, and as you can see, it's quite small, and obviously I want it to format into my website to appear correctly. So I'm just going to get rid of that text, just delete, and do a command paste. As you can see, it's retained all my formatting that I had initially, and it's obviously not what I want, and I don't want to go back over letter by word to remove all that formatting. So essentially what we can do using the editor is just highlighting all that text, and there is a bit of an eraser button here that we can use just to remove that formatting. And when I click that, as you can see, it's just defaulted back to its standard size, standard font, everything like that. So, however, on the front end, we might have a bit more creativity on the font size and font style, but this is just letting you know that everything's been stripped out and not formatted, so we're pretty safe to use that. Also, this has come in as centered, so we might just want to left align that just to make that a bit more tidy. And I'm pretty happy with that, so I'll just click save. Okay, so now it's saved and I'm pretty well happy with that. Let's go into the editor with a bit more detail. I want to add some bullet points to the paragraph above. So if I just start typing just normally using returns on a series of different points, I can then just go back and highlight those text areas and create a bullet point for each of those points that I want to add. Or if I want them to be numbers, I've got the number button here, and with the dot points next to that, I can indent them using the indent button as well. Okay, so now that I've added those dot points, I now just want to add some more content with like an image or a table. But now, as you can see, my window preview area is quite small and quite narrow to sort of deal with. So one quick tip using the JCE editor is actually it's got a full screen option here. So if I just toggle that, it allows me to open the editor to full screen of my computer. So I've got a lot more real estate to work with, which is quite handy on using smaller laptops or notebooks or even iPads. So quite handy with that one. But at this stage, I just want to add an image, so I'm going to click on the Insert Image option, and the window, my image manager pops up, which is basically the same as the media manager that you saw on the quick icon on your dashboard of the Joomla login. Okay, so once the image manager has popped up, you'll see all the images and folders that appear in the root directory of your Joomla website. If you're using an FTP file management system, this essentially works in conjunction with those. So if I go to create or add an image or create a folder, it'll appear on that FTP server. So JCE has got some option here for me to add a folder or even to upload some imagery. So here's some of the default images that are already stored in this Joomla installation, but I'm not going to use any of those because I actually want to use my own. So let's go ahead and do that. But first of all, I'm going to create a folder because I might have a whole, quite a large series of products or services I want to include in my content, especially if you've got like an online cart. You might have a whole series of images that you want to upload, so, and obviously categorize them into different folders and products. So if I just type in, say, product 1, press OK, there's my folder that's appeared. Now you just notice that I typed in product space 1. Now any FTP or web file management platform won't allow spaces, so what this one does automatically is add an underscore or a dash, just so there's no errors that appear down the track where images can't find, where web pages can't find imagery and stuff like that. So that's quite handy. So I'm just going to click on that product 1 folder, and as you can see it's blank, and obviously I'm going to add some images to that folder. So over on the right hand side I've got the upload button, so I'll just click that. Another pop-up appears. So you've got two options here. So if you're using a larger screen or a dual screen format, you can actually highlight a whole series of images and just drag and drop into this window pane, but obviously on a laptop I can't do that, so I'm just going to use the browse button. I just need the one image, so there's my image being a cat, so I'll just click that, choose, and now it's appeared. So obviously if I had a whole series of images it would just appear one below each other. That's sort of handy if you can do a whole bunch at once rather than just one at a time. So I'm happy with that. I'll click upload. Yep, got the green tick, and there's my image there. You can see it's in the server, it's in that folder, and there's a preview of it as you can see on the right hand side. So I've got the option now, if I want to, I can rename that file if it need be, or delete it or copy it, essentially just working straight off the server. So I can show now, we'll go ahead and insert that into the page, and as you can see there's my image on the page. Now I've got my image, but I'm actually finding it's not in the right spot, and it's a bit big. So first of all I can hit left align to obviously have it in line with the text if I want. But mostly I just want to resize it because I find actually it is a little bit big, so I can hit the image edit button again for the window to pop up. It'll find the image that I'm looking for, so there it is there. And I can adjust the dimension size in the numbers in the box above. Don't have to worry about the getting the proportions right, because as long as the proportion button's ticked, it'll automatically do that for you. So as long as you've got one edge set correctly, it'll automatically update, as you can see there. So if I just hit update, there's my new image resized. Okay, so now the page is starting to sort of look roughly sort of what I want. I actually sort of want to add a bit more content or some more text below this image, but I actually want the text to wrap around that image. So what I'm going to do is just copy this paragraph above, and if I remove the alignment setting and press paste, you can see that the image is pushing away from the text, so it's actually in the wrong spot, so let's just move that below. So now I actually want that, or the text, to wrap around that image. So if I select the image and press left align, you can see now that the text has really pushed itself next to the image, and obviously I want to make that text left align as well. And but now you can see that the text is butting up right against the image itself, which is not exactly what I'm after. So if I just select the image again and press the image editor, I've got options now to set some margins or space essentially around that image. So if I say set it to 15 pixels, press tab, you can see there if this equal value has been selected, it'll automatically proportion around what the pixel dimensions are. But if I untick that, I've got a bit more control of the spacing around that image. So maybe for top and bottom, I just want to say 5 pixels. You can see on the preview area here, it's automatically adjusted. So I'll just press update, and there you go. You can see it's starting to push away from the text. So again, even if I duplicate that and add another paragraph, you can see it's really nicely wraps around the image there. So okay, so let's just go ahead and save that. Now I can't save that in the full screen mode because my save functions aren't here. So I just need to untoggle the full screen mode. And I'll scroll up to the top and just press save. Okay, so one little thing that we're missing, I guess, for this particular page is a table. I just would like to add a table of contents or something for this particular article. Again, you can see my preview area is quite small, so I'm just going to toggle the full screen option. So I'll just put the table under these articles. Now it's under on the third row using the JCE editor. There's a little grid icon, so I can insert a table. It comes up with its own default pop-up window, so I can establish, okay, so I need 4 columns, 4 rows, similar sort of table setup you use in a Microsoft Word or some other publishing program. I can then just insert that. So then maybe it's a series of products. So name, product 1, product 2, product 3. Now, as you can see, the table's only resizing to what content's in there. So we can go back and edit that table where we want to make sure we add attributes for fixed width or set widths for the columns, or set heights for the rows, etc. So column 1, column 2, column 3. So again, I just need to save that. So I need to toggle out of full screen mode. I'll just save that, and I can go back to the home page, hit refresh, and let's just have a look, see how that's all looking. And there's my table just down there. So we can then go back into and add some padding, just to fill that out, make it a bit more thicker, be a bit more creative, add some photos, that type of thing. So. Okay, the last little point I want to talk to you about today is actually embedding links within your article or web page. These may be links that you want to link to a website, an external website, link to an email address, or possibly you want to download a brochure or an image, or possibly an audio file, or maybe you just want to link it to another page within your website. So I'll just show you how to do that. So I'm just going to click on the full screen option just so I get a bit more space to work. So I'm going to create a link here. I could select this text, but it's probably a bit much for it to be all one link. So I'll just create a definitive link here. Click here for more information. So let's make that a link. So all I need to do is just highlight that text. Now at the bottom of the editor, there's a little link or chain icon next to the image icon. So let's just select that. Another pop-up window. And this will give me directions to where I want the link to point to. So as you can see, I can with the URL option, I can point that to an external web address. So making sure that if I do, I put in the full web address with the HTTP suffix before it. Otherwise, if I don't do that, the link probably just won't work. So I can link it to an email address if need be. So I'll just put the web address, email address in here. .com.au. Or I've got the option to, within the site, link it to another menu or another web page. If also, if I had more articles, I could possibly even link it to that. So also just some controls here, whether I want that to pop up in its own window or a new window. And also I can give it an alt tag for that link. So good for SEO, especially if you're downloading brochures or images that might help you be found in search engines. So I'm just going to put here, contact us via email. So for this one, I've just got my email address connected to the text that I'm linking to. So I'll just go insert, and as you can see, it pops up blue with an underline, meaning that there is a link towards that. So let's just minimize that and press save. So after I've saved it and refreshed my browser, you can see the link here. So with just a little mouse over, you can see that it's active and it'll link somewhere. But as you can see, the link here is a bit small and not really noticeable. So what I'm going to do is just go back to the page and the link itself, and just style it so I can just highlight it, make it a bit bigger, bold it, and let's just press save. Go back to the home page and refresh again. And you can see that there, my links come up nice and clear for people to see. Okay, so we've got our link, but maybe over time we don't really need that link anymore. So what you can also do is just highlight that text again, and a little unbroken chain has appeared, so we can just unlink that. So it just removes any of those links that we've already set. Or another option is that you can just delete that that whole line of text altogether. And let's press save. So now, using those linking tools that I've just shown you, you can do the exact same thing for images or photos or even files. So if you've got a call to action or a brochure download or a product download on your web page, you can essentially link the same thing to your images, not just text. So let's just do the same thing. So I'm just going to highlight the image I want to link from. So if I just press the link tool, on the right hand side we've got to use the file option as opposed to a URL or a email. We'll just press the file tool, opens up my file browser, making sure obviously you've uploaded the file that you want it to download or for your users to download. So I'm just going to select that. It could be a PDF or it could be some other file or JPEG or an Excel spreadsheet, whatever you want to use. Let's just go insert. Now I want this to open up into a new window as opposed just my standard window. I'll just give it an alt file name, so I'll call it file download. Press insert. Just minimize that so I can save. Let's just go to the home page and refresh that. And you'll notice because I've created the link now, you can see that the arrow changes to a hand, so it's like a download clickable link. So as you can see, when it just hovers over long enough, you can see the alt tag pop up where it now says file download. So if I just press that, you can see that the image is downloaded in a new window. If you set it to an actual file, it might just automatically download into your downloads folder. So that's a good tip. So that's it from us today. Hope you found some useful information for using the editor and adding and changing things within your Joomla articles. Stay tuned for some more training videos coming soon. Bye. Hi there. I'm just here to give you some bonus information about using the the Joomla dashboard in terms of creating categories and additional articles within your article manager. So let's just quickly jump into that. I briefly touched on this before, but we essentially now want to create multiple categories within our for our articles so we can sort them and easily find them. So it's a pretty simple process. You just have your list of categories on the left, and just by using the new button, we might just create some series of categories. So we say products for one. Don't really need any detailed information down here, so all we really need is the title. So I'm just going to go save and new, create another one, services, and lastly about the company, save and close. So in our categories manager, just much like the article manager, it just appears down as a list, and we can obviously go back and change those whenever we need to. So I now want to create some more articles that are going to fit inside some of those categories. Again, we've just got the one for now, but let's just go create a new article. Again, give it a title. The beauty with Joomla is it's all pretty much consistent all the way throughout. You don't have to learn too much with adding different menus and categories and articles, because they're all using the same sort of systems. So I've got some predefined text copied from elsewhere, so I'm just going to paste that in rather than just retyping it every time. So I'm going to left align that. Again, like I showed you in the earlier training video, that I just want to remove any formatting, so there's no abnormal characters within that body of text that I might have copied elsewhere. I want to assign that into a particular category, so now my categories appear just below the title here, so we'll just put it under products and save and close. And now that you can see, I've got some predefined categories here within the article manager, and using the filter option I can filter those accordingly, which is really handy for when you've got many or lots of articles, especially like for blog sites or even for e-commerce sites where you have lots of products.